The girl who vanished from the shower block. The Cheryl Grimmer case. Mr. Ballin, Kendall Ray, calm, investigative, victim first. Estimated duration, 8 to 10 minutes. Word count, 1,350 words. The host sits in a dimly lit, comfortable space, looking directly into the camera with a serious, empathetic expression. In the summer of 1970, on a quiet stretch of beach south of Sydney, a 3-year-old girl went to the shower block to wash up from the sand. She was never seen again. Her name was Cheryl Grimmer. For more than 45 years, Cheryl's disappearance was one of Australia's most haunting, unsolved mysteries. There were no remains, no body, and no definitive answer about what happened to her in those final minutes. But this isn't a story about a crime. It's a story about a little girl who loved her family and the devastating silence that followed her vanishing. Today, we walk through the timeline of her life, the day the world changed, and the long, frustrating road of an investigation that refused to go cold, even when the answers remained out of reach. 1. The victim, who Cheryl was. Cheryl Jean Grimmer was born on October 30th, 1966, in the United Kingdom. She was a British toddler who had recently moved with her family to Australia, a fresh start in a new country. She was 3 years old, small, curious, and full of the boundless energy that only a child possesses. By all accounts, Cheryl was a happy child. She spent her days with her mother and her 3 older brothers. The family had settled in the Wollongong area, a city known for its coastline and its industrial heart. They were a unit that relied on each other, traveling together, playing together, and living the simple, ordinary moments of family life.
Cheryl wasn't just a name in a police report. She was a little sister who teased her brothers, a daughter who held her mother's hand, and a toddler who found joy in the salt and sand of the Australian beach. Her life was defined by the safety of her home and the love of her family. But on a single afternoon in January, that safety was shattered in a way that would leave a family waiting for answers for decades. 2. The last known movements, January 12th, 1970. The day things changed was Monday, January 12th, 1970. The weather was warm, the kind of summer day that draws families to the coast. Cheryl, her mother, and her 3 brothers had spent the afternoon at Fairy Meadow Beach in Wollongong, just south of Sydney. The beach was active, dotted with families enjoying the water and the sun. By late afternoon, the family began to pack up. Cheryl, covered in sand from playing in the surf, needed to wash up. She walked toward the beachside shower block, a small structure with change sheds and public showers, designed for visitors to rinse off before heading home. Witnesses who were nearby at the time recall seeing Cheryl inside the shower block. She was last seen teasing her older brother inside the changing area. It was a moment of ordinary childhood playfulness. Minutes later, she was gone. According to witness accounts, a man was seen taking Cheryl from the shower block and running off. The witnesses described a young male carrying the child away. There was no scream, no struggle that was heard by the crowd. In the blink of an eye, the 3-year-old girl vanished from the beach, leaving her family in a state of immediate, panicked confusion. Her mother and brothers rushed to the shower block, but Cheryl was not there. The beach was suddenly a scene of chaos as the family called for her and neighbors joined in the search.
But the sand offered no trace, and the ocean held no answer. 3. What was discovered and how the case unfolded. The immediate aftermath was a frenzy of activity. Police launched extensive searches of the beach, the surrounding bushland, and the nearby waterways. Drones were not yet a tool, so the search relied on boots on the ground and eyes scanning the horizon. Dogs were brought in to sniff for any scent, but the wind and the salt had already washed away the trail. Despite the thoroughness of the initial search, no substantial clues emerged. No body was found. No personal items belonging to Cheryl were discovered. The case was immediately classified as a potential abduction, and the investigation was treated as a homicide, given the lack of any sign of the child returning. For decades, the case remained a mystery. The police followed leads, interviewed suspects, and reviewed old statements, but nothing led to a breakthrough. The silence was deafening.
The family, particularly Cheryl's mother, lived with the agonizing uncertainty of not knowing if her daughter was alive or dead, or where she might be. It wasn't until March 23, 2017, that the case saw a dramatic shift. A 63-year-old man, originally from Britain, was arrested in Melbourne. Detectives stated they would charge him with abduction and murder. The arrest was based on a 1971 confession the man had made when he was a teenager, nearly 50 years prior. In that confession, he claimed he had killed a toddler. This was the first time a specific suspect had been brought into the spotlight. The arrest sent shockwaves through the community and brought a flicker of hope to the Grimmer family. For the first time, there was a name attached to the crime. Number 4. The investigation, obstacles, and why it went cold. The investigation, however, was fraught with insurmountable legal obstacles. The case was built on the teenage confession made in 1971. When the trial began, the defense argued that the confession was inadmissible. The judge ruled that the evidence could not be used, as it was obtained without proper legal safeguards, and the man was a minor at the time. With the key evidence deemed inadmissible, the trial fell apart. The charges were dropped, and the suspect, who maintains his innocence, was released. The case, which had been so active for so long, effectively went cold again. The legal system had blocked the path to conviction, leaving the family with a suspect, but no justice. The obstacles were not just legal, they were also physical. Cheryl's body has never been located. Without a body, there is no forensic evidence to confirm the cause of death, no timeline to verify the confession, and no way to definitively prove the crime occurred as described. The lack of a body meant the investigation was always working with incomplete information. Over the years, the case faced the passage of time. Witnesses aged, memories faded, and the physical evidence, if any existed, was lost. The police continued to investigate, but the lack of a breakthrough meant the case remained in the realm of the unsolved. The New South Wales Police Homicide Squad's Unsolved Homicide Unit kept the file open, but the path to closure was blocked by the legal ruling and the absence of physical proof. 5. The case status today and what remains unknown. Today, the case of Cheryl Grimmer remains an active investigation. The NSW government has increased the reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible to $1 million, acknowledging the 50-year anniversary of her disappearance. This reward stands as a testament to the family's enduring hope and the police's commitment to finding the truth. In October 2025, police conducted a renewed search for Cheryl's remains at a bushland site in Balgownie, identified in the 1971 confession. For the first time, detectives scoured this specific location. However, the search ended with no breakthrough. Bones were found in the area, but expert analysis confirmed they belonged to an animal, not a human. The family was left facing another painful setback. A coronial inquest conducted in 2011 officially found that Cheryl had died, but the cause and manner of death remain undetermined. Her body has not been located, and the identity of the person who took her remains a mystery, despite the 2017 arrest. What remains unknown is the final truth. We do not know where Cheryl's body is. We do not know if the 1971 confession was true or if it was a lie told by a troubled teenager. We do not know if there were other suspects or if the crime was committed by someone who has never been identified. The silence that began in 1970 continues to echo. The Grimmer family has waited for over half a century. They have faced searches that failed, trials that collapsed, and a legal system that could not deliver justice. Yet, they have not stopped believing that the truth can be found. The music swells slightly, then softens. The host looks directly at the camera, his expression gentle and reflective. Cheryl Grimmer was just 3 years old when she vanished from a beach.